Have you ever looked someone in the eye, shared a meal, exchanged laughs, and yet felt something wasn't right deep in your bones? Maybe it was a glance too measured, a compliment too perfect, or a question that felt more like reconnaissance than concern. As we grow older, most of us come to understand not all danger is loud. The most harmful people don't always come with fists raised. Sometimes they come dressed in trust. The truth is, the most dangerous threats in your life may not be those who openly dislike you, but the ones who hide their hatred behind a handshake, a smile, or even a hug. They don't argue, they observe. They don't attack you. They dismantle the support around you piece by piece while you're still trying to believe the best in them. And what makes them lethal is not their anger, but their patience. In a world where loyalty is fading and intentions are often disguised beneath charm and social grace, the ability to see clearly isn't just a strength, it's survival. This video isn't about fear, it's not about paranoia. It's about sharpening the one thing a Stoic man must never lose: clarity. Today we'll uncover 5 quiet but chilling signs that someone in your life may not just dislike you, they may be planning your downfall. These aren't theories, these are patterns that have played out for thousands of years, in politics, in family, in friendship, and yes, even in love. You'll learn not just how to recognize these signs, but how to remain composed, strong, and deliberate in the face of them. If you're a man in his 40s, 50s, or beyond, you've likely already encountered at least one person like this. Maybe you brushed it off. Maybe you called it coincidence. Maybe you forgave what should have been your warning. But not anymore. From this moment on, you'll learn to see not through emotion, but through discipline, through logic, through the lens of Stoic wisdom. And that's the promise I offer you today, not to make you more suspicious, but to make you more sovereign over your peace, your circle, and your future. Let's begin. 5 Stoic signals of silent threats. Signal 1. The watcher in disguise. When curiosity crosses the line. A Stoic man does not live in fear, but he observes. He notices when someone begins to know too much about his routine, not by accident, but with quiet calculation. This isn't admiration or coincidence. It's surveillance disguised as familiarity. Perhaps they show up at your gym, your coffee shop, or know details of your life you never shared. In the philosophy of Marcus Aurelius, we are told to be tolerant with others, but strict with yourself. But Stoicism also teaches vigilance. When someone starts showing up where they shouldn't be, both physically and emotionally, they are not walking beside you, they are shadowing you. The wise man does not react in panic. He adjusts. He reclaims his space. He becomes unpredictable. The moment you shift your routine without explanation is the moment you regain power over it. Signal 2. The slow poisoner, breaking bonds without a trace. Not all betrayal arrives with noise. Sometimes it arrives through whispers in your absence. A person who wants to harm you rarely begins with a direct strike. Instead, they loosen the threads that hold your life together, your friendships, your reputation, your trust in others. Like Seneca warned, a sword never kills anybody, it is a tool in the killer's hand. These people use gossip, implication, and emotional suggestion as their blade. If people in your life suddenly grow distant without clear reason, ask yourself, is someone sowing seeds where I once had soil? Do not fight the rumors directly. Instead, double down on the consistency of your own character. Let your virtue be louder than their manipulation. The truth, if lived daily, has a power even the cleverest lie cannot hold for long. Signal 3. The friend who knows too much. When comfort becomes a trap. Some enemies do not approach with malice. They come with listening ears and gentle voices, but their interest in you is not born from empathy. It is born from strategy. They want to know your fears, your pain points, your blind spots, and the more you share, the more you arm them. This is not paranoia, this is discernment. A Stoic does not fear intimacy, but he also does not overshare without merit. Ask yourself, does this person lift your burdens or catalog them? Do they ask with sincerity, or do they ask with curiosity disguised as care? Epictetus reminds us, be careful whom you confide in. Not everyone who seems close is safe. Strength is knowing when to speak and when to listen to the silence. Signal 4. The escalator. Small aggressions with sharp edges. When someone begins to test your boundaries under the guise of humor, playfulness, or passive remarks, this is no longer simple rudeness. It's psychological probing. I could hurt you, said with a grin. You wouldn't last a day without me, spoken like a joke. These are not just slips of the tongue. They are small torches thrown into your peace, waiting to see if you will put out the flame or pretend it isn't burning. Stoicism tells us not to overreact, but it never tells us to overlook. If someone mocks your values, tests your patience, or steps past your boundaries and waits for your silence, they are not teasing. They are checking for your weakness. Do not explain yourself, do not argue. Simply withdraw the privilege of your presence. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Signal 5. The architect of delay, harm with a long timeline. Perhaps the most dangerous individual is the one who appears patient, calm, thoughtful, helpful even. But beneath that surface is someone playing the long game. They are not interested in hurting you now. They are interested in being there when you fall. Not to catch you, but to make sure no one else does. They may be involved in your finances, your plans, even your legacy. They are not reactive. They are methodical. A Stoic man honors his future by guarding his present. If someone always asks about your next step, but rarely walks alongside you in the current one, consider this. Are they preparing to support you, or to position themselves when you're most exposed? Trust is earned slowly, but so is betrayal. Do not confuse longevity with loyalty. These signs are not shared to breed fear. They are here to help you see clearly. As Stoics, we do not fear the darkness. We light the lamp of reason within it. You are not helpless. You are not paranoid. You are simply prepared. And in a world where deception often wears the mask of friendship, your clarity is your armor. Now, let's keep building that armor, one truth at a time. Contrast: the Stoic man versus the vulnerable man. The difference between a man governed by Stoic clarity and one led by unchecked emotion isn't always visible from the outside. Both might sit in the same room, wear the same suit, smile at the same joke, but if you look closer at how they respond to betrayal, pressure, and subtle hostility, you'll see the difference written in their presence. The vulnerable man reacts, not because he's weak, but because he is unguarded in the places that matter most. When someone disrespects him in silence, he either doesn't notice or he overcorrects, trying to win them back, explain himself, or regain approval. He believes the best in people without ever asking, has this person earned my trust? When trouble brews, his mind spins with emotion. What did I do wrong? How can I fix this? And by the time he realizes someone meant him harm, it's already cost him his peace, his energy, sometimes even his safety. The Stoic man, by contrast, is no less compassionate, but he is infinitely more grounded. He doesn't walk around expecting enemies, but he also doesn't mistake every smile for sincerity. He watches patterns, not performances. He gives trust slowly, and attention with intention. If someone begins to show signs of manipulation or ill intent, he does not flinch. He does not argue, plead, or protest. He observes, he sets boundaries, he exits without spectacle. Because he understands what many forget, dignity is not what you demand, it's what you quietly protect. The vulnerable man sees emotional turbulence as a sign he must fix something or someone. The Stoic man sees it as a signal. This is not my chaos to absorb. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The Stoic man knows this deeply. He resists being dragged into imagined offenses, emotional sabotage, or cycles of manipulation. He's not harder than the world, he's just no longer surprised by it. And here's the quiet truth: many men only learn after years of pain. Clarity costs far less than confusion. When you carry yourself with emotional discipline, you may lose a few relationships, but you keep your mind, you keep your time, you keep your soul from being chipped away by those who feed on your reaction. The vulnerable man walks through life trying to be liked. The stoic man walks through life aiming to be clear. One sacrifices himself to avoid discomfort. The other accepts discomfort to remain whole. It's not about being heartless. It's about having a heart strong enough not to be held hostage by another's poison. That's the contrast. That's the choice. And with each moment, each test, each conversation, you decide which man you're becoming. In the end, it's not paranoia that protects us, it's perception. Life doesn't always warn you with loud alarms. Sometimes danger wears a smile. And the men who suffer most are not the ones who lack strength, but the ones who lack clarity. That's what Stoicism gives you. Not coldness, not detachment, but the ability to see things as they are, without illusion. When you cultivate stillness, sharpen your discernment, and choose who deserves your energy, you stop being easy prey for hidden enemies. You become anchored. You move with quiet confidence, and those who once sought to use or destroy you can no longer find their way in, because the door was never left open. If this message speaks to something inside you, if you've felt the weight of betrayal or the sting of misplaced trust, you're not alone. But you do have a choice. You can begin today stronger, clearer, more grounded than yesterday. Let that be your legacy. Subscribe to Ultimate Stoicism and walk with us as we turn ancient wisdom into everyday strength. Share your thoughts below. What have you learned about trust, and what signs do you now see more clearly? Your story might be the wisdom someone else needs.